Masahiro Sakurai has revealed that work on his next game is underway, and it's actually been going on for a few years now at this point, and speculation about what he's going to be doing next is running rampant online. People are talking about a new Kid Icarus game. People are talking about a new IP. People are talking about all sorts of stuff, but I'm here to tell you what Masahiro Sakurai is probably working on, and I bet that he is. It's a new Super Smash Bros. Game for the Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm going to break down exactly why here. But before we do, what's good everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, click that notification bell to check out our latest videos as soon as they go live, in addition to our live streams as well. Now let's go ahead and jump right back into this, because Masahiro Sakurai is somewhat of a crazy genius, and I mean that in the best way possible. His whole Masahiro Sakurai on creating games, the finale special, was brilliant. He pre-recorded all of that, then released it over the last couple of years, and essentially has been working on his new game since those last few years, which is just crazy. It's 40 plus minutes long. It's fantastic. If you have some time, check it out. I'll have it linked in the description. And he spent over $600,000 of his own money as a way to give back to the community in producing this series when it comes to the channel. And none of this was monetized. He did not have any monetization or any sponsorships or anything at all. And he just felt that it would be good to give back to the community of gaming and everything, the industry that helped him get what he's got at this point. So that is crazy. Shout outs to Sakurai, man. That is an incredible feat. And yes, I think that there are probably thousands upon thousands of developers that have tuned in every single time that he put out a video in order to get better at their own craft, and we can get better games because of that. I mean, if you look at the Rivals game, that looks awesome. Obviously, Super Smash Bros. There's so many other developers that are out there creating cool platform fighters, creating fighting games, and they are absolutely looking at what Masahiro Sakurai has talked about here. Even if it's not a fighting game, there are plenty of things that you can take from his series and kind of look at it and say, okay, I can apply that as well. And of course, for the fans, getting an insight into the brain of what Masahiro Sakurai is thinking when he creates what we love is always fantastic in terms of just for viewing. So big love there. Now, he is working on his next game, and it should be announced more sooner than later. Now, let's get into exactly what he said, or at least a snippet of what he said when it comes down to it, and then we can discuss exactly why this will be Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch 2, because I have a lot of reasoning for it, and I was kind of going back and forth with people on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be people back and forth going in the comment section here. So, quote, "I'm sorry, I can't share more about this project, but assuming that we're able to get it made, it should be announced sooner or later." Elaborating a little further, Sakurai adds in that his commitments to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate were wrapped up in October 2021, at which point he'd been given the okay to move forward with production for a mystery game, although it was going to take some time to assemble the right team, those are his words, and he revealed that the target time frame was April 2022 to get that team put together. But up at this point, he would have to wait. So it's very interesting to see what he has to say here and what's going on. I do think that the game that he's working on will be Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch 2. And here are a number of reasons why it's going to be Smash Bros. One, the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming. We all know this. Nintendo has already revealed that they have an announcement planned sometime between March of this year and March of next year. So that means at this point, we're at the end of October, going into November. The announcement, or them revealing the system, will be within the next 6 months and less. So yeah, they are going to have something. So we know the next system is coming. And of course, once Nintendo or once any company puts out a current system, they already start working on the next system. So we know that is coming. Now, Super Smash Bros. Games are usually greenlit well before the new system launches, because Smash is a big system seller. If you look at it, when it comes to the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, all of those games, they tried to target Super Smash Bros. Right there near launch, even sometimes a launch title. I know they wanted Super Smash Bros. Brawl to be a launch title. It did get delayed. I know they wanted Super Smash Bros. Melee to be a launch title. That also got delayed. And Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, that was announced before Sakurai Sakurai even knew that he was going to be making those games. Nintendo announced it at E3, and then Sakurai was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. And then they said, yeah, you're the one who's making it, so it was pretty interesting overall. They always want Sakurai to get started on Smash Brothers because they know that Super Smash Brothers is going to be huge for whatever system that they're going to be doing, and Super Smash Brothers is a bona fide 100% system seller. They're going to need those big games like a new 3D Mario, like a Mario Kart, like a Super Smash Brothers, obviously Zelda. These are all the type of titles that you need in order to get your system off the ground and running. And Super Smash Brothers has been a smash hit, way bigger than even previous Smash Brothers games, and those were always big system sellers, with Super Smash Brothers selling over 34.66 million units on the Nintendo Switch, that this is the most impactful Smash Brothers game when it comes to system selling that Nintendo's ever had, maybe outside of the GameCube and Melee, because Melee was the best selling game overall on the GameCube completely. But when it comes to it, 34 million units plus, that is by far the best selling Super Smash Brothers game, and it's not even close overall. So with that much money being pumped into Smash Brothers overall, when it comes to revenue, they're going to want to have that next big game up and ready to go. You don't want to wait on those. And if you look at it, all the Super Smash Brothers games since Super Smash Brothers on the N64, all of them have been released within at least 2 years of the system's launch. They're all within that, usually less than 2 years. Sometimes they get really close to it, but for the most part, all of them are less than 2 years after the system launches. A lot of the times, the next or following year, or a year and some odd months. So yeah, if you want that next Super Smash Brothers game done by the time that the Nintendo Switch 2 is about a year or so old, you're going to have to start working on it now at this point in order to get those sales. You just need to get that done, and I think that Nintendo's absolutely going to do that. Now, some people have talked about how Masahiro Sakurai is moving on from the Super Smash Bros. Series, or that he said that. He never said that. He actually said quite the opposite. He actually talked about how he doesn't see how anybody else can make the Super Smash Bros. Series without him. Nintendo wants the Super Smash Bros. Series to continue because it's a massive seller and it sells systems. So yeah, Sakurai's working on the next one. He's the only guy that can really get it done. Now, if Nintendo and Sakurai actually had faith or confidence in somebody else to direct this new Super Smash Bros. Game when it comes down to it, and they can get it done in a timely fashion and good and get everybody in order in line to get it done, Sakurai might have moved on at this point, but that's not the case. They don't have anybody that can do that now. Maybe after this next game, sure, but not at this point. Sakurai said this about a year plus ago or so, and he already had finished up with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So that means he even feels after Super Smash Bros. Ultimate that there's still nobody else that can really fill his role with Super Smash Bros. And listen, guys, he was willing to spend over $600,000 of his own money devoting into a cause when it comes to giving back to the community. He deeply cares about the community and the game and Super Smash Brothers. He's not going to let it just go off and it not have a clear goal or a leader overall. So he's probably going to be on this next one, and I think that's what this game is. Another thing is that if this game was being greenlit or talked about back in 2021, 2022, you probably don't need that much time for a simple port of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So I don't think that it's going to be a port like some people are saying, or some people are trying to imply. And the Nintendo Switch 2 is probably going to be backwards compatible. So if you want to play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, it's going to be there for you to play. Many people happily played Melee on their Nintendo Wii systems, or many people happily played Brawl on their Wii U's. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate took the bones or the base of Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and essentially updated it, added new textures, added new features, added new characters. Not a port of the game, definitely a new game, but they built on top of it to create something even bigger and better. So there was really no need to actually have that game on the Nintendo Switch because they want everyone playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, I would like to see some new content updates, maybe for the next Super Smash Bros. Game that adds in some of that 3DS content when it comes to Smash Run in particular. I think that's a pretty cool mode, and that's locked away on the Nintendo 3DS version of Super Smash Bros. But it would be cool if they took that and made it a new mode on the next Super Smash Bros. Game. So if you look at all the different things here, overall, that's the reason why I feel that Sakurai's next game is 100% or or 99.999% sure that it's going to be a Super Smash Bros. Game. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I've seen people talk about Kid Icarus. I've seen people talk about other games, new IPs. Some people even said they'd like to see him make a Punch-Out with a bunch of Nintendo characters. I doubt he'd make something like that, but I get it. Like, Super Smash Bros. Is something that we've got multiple times. People want something new, but at the same time, Nintendo also needs to sell their system. So here's what I think could happen for all these people that are saying new IP and Kid Icarus and this or that. What they're probably going to do is that they put out Super Smash Bros., the next one for Nintendo Switch 2. It obviously does really well, sells really well, helps sell the system, and Sakurai then has time in order to create the next thing. You have to remember, back when the Wii was a massive success and Sakurai had some extra time, some breathing room afterwards, look at what happened. We got Kid Icarus Uprising because we were waiting for the next system to come out. There was some time after Brawl, and he was able to make a smaller scale game, at least compared to a home console or an HD game, with Kid Icarus Uprising, and pack a lot of great content and gameplay and fun into that game. And it was awesome, although it didn't sell what it needed to sell, and it wasn't a system seller for the Nintendo 3DS on a large scale, like let's say Super Smash Bros. For 3DS was, or Mario or Zelda or Animal Crossing or some of the other games that were big on the Nintendo 3DS. But the big thing that we have to focus on here is the fact that he actually had time, because Brawl was a huge success and the Wii was a huge success. Now with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and you're looking at the scale of that type of game, I think that with that, it was tough because they had a bunch of DLC that they kept on doing well after the game came out. So 2018, the game came out in December. So 2019, 2020, 2021, 3 years of DLC. There wasn't really that same amount of time because after Brawl, there was no DLC. Now, if you make this game and you put out a progressive schedule in terms of DLC and what you can do, and probably Nintendo's going to have this next system out for a very long time, I think that Sakurai will train up people and there will be time to actually create something after this next Super Smash Bros. Game comes out. So Sakurai can revisit something like a Kid Icarus or a brand new IP after this next Super Smash Bros. Game comes out, so Nintendo can actually secure when it comes to a big system selling type of game, because they're going to need many big system sellers right there at or near around the first year or so of launch. So you got to have a Super Smash Bros. Game. It's just something that you need to have in order to have success, or at least give yourself the best chance to have success. So I see Sakurai working on that, and then afterwards, maybe we do get a new IP or we get something else from him. So those are all of my reasons at this point. Heck, I still could be wrong. Maybe it is something different and they're going to rely upon Mario Kart and 3D Mario and maybe Animal Crossing and some other games in the first year or so in order to really move the system along with third-party developers. But I do feel that it's going to be heavy on the big games like the 3D Mario, like Mario Kart, like Super Smash Brothers, like Zelda. There's going to be these big titles in order to move the system, just like we saw with the Nintendo Switch, where we got a heavy dosing of Zelda right there at the beginning. We got Mario Kart right there. We got Splatoon, we got ARMS, Xenoblade, and then the following year, right there in December 2018, we got Smash Brothers for you guys as well, within less than 2 years after the system launches. So I think that they're going to follow the same strategy here. So what do you guys think overall about what I said with Masahiro Sakurai and his next game? What do you guys think that it could be? Are you on my side thinking that it's going to be a Super Smash Brothers game? Or do you think that it's going to be something different? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch RPG videos and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.